go.
Welcome to another podcast of Adeel Pirzada podcast. Today we have another exciting podcast about real estate, entrepreneurship, and construction. And here you got my co-host, Mr. Kevin.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Glad to be here today. My name is Kevin, the marketing leader for Pircon Group. Glad to be here today and glad to be here with Adeel.
Right on.
So if you don't know who we are, and if you're listening to us for the first time, first thing, hit subscribe while you're listening. I want to introduce to you and tell you why you should listen to us. Adeel Pirzada podcast. This is the host, Adeel Pirzada, and Adeel has developed and transacted and built over 1 million square footage of real estate. He's a qualified real estate developer with multiple projects being developed as we speak. He is a construction company owner, Pircon Group, hence our shirts, and a licensed real estate agent. And we're ready to provide value for you and bring more money into your business, into your real estate business, and into your pocketbook. So take some notes. Let's go.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that introduction. It's very important for our listener, I guess, to know why they're listening to us and then why our opinion or our discussion should be any worthy of them listening. So, we're, over the years, I've done many different things, and real estate and construction is one of them. So I like to talk about that. I like to discuss and actually spread the knowledge, what I know, what I understand, so we can help others. That's why we're in business. That's why we're in construction, because that's what we do for our clients. We help them out with our expertise in real estate, in residential, commercial real estate, and construction. So, and they get a lot of edge working with us on different projects, that we have done for our clients.
For sure.
There's always something we're doing, something different and extra that, our competitors maybe don't do it or don't do it as well. So that's what makes our presence more prominent.
Yes, sir. Now, today's topic is land development and solutions for a housing shortage. There's a huge shortage of homes in Canada and all over the world right now. Today, we're going to cover this issue with 3 solutions for you to provide and to grow and to take action on this issue.
Yeah, the housing shortage actually has been part of the news for a very long time, and it's an issue actually. It's an issue that's been around for a very, very long time. And now we're talking about just like not in Canada, actually the entire North America. So talking about Canada and USA, we both face housing shortage issue. Some don't believe in it, actually. Some don't think it's an issue. And I do see their point of view where they would say, there are so many people own homes and they're sitting empty. And then we know a lot of foreigner people, like people from abroad, have actually invested in places like Vancouver and Toronto, like overall in Canada. And then they own these homes, and some of them, like I know actually personally that I know the real estate agents in Vancouver, and I talk to them. We exchange some words, and they have a lot of investors that actually live in China, and then there's a lot of homes that are sitting empty and nobody's living there.
Yeah.
So that isn't an issue that I don't disagree with that, but the real issue is that we actually are in shortage of homes. Believe it or not, there are less homes to live. I'm not saying there are not enough homes. Maybe there are a lot of homes but some of them are not livable or some are not offered for living. But right now, the way it sits, there is less homes in Canada available for people to live than what the market provides. The inventory is low. People might be holding on homes and they're sitting vacant. But that's only a very small percentage. There's a huge percentage of people that can't get into homes to begin with because there's nothing that exists for them. And actually, it has become an issue for a lot of immigrants. So a lot of students that have come to Canada for education, and a lot of people that move to Canada, they're actually in an issue. And we live in city of Calgary, Alberta. So we're in the south end of the province. And our whole province is actually facing this issue right now. There is nothing available for rent. Just to let you know on the stats, how it is. So there is, just to go on, like, what is available in the market to buy. There are 1,500 homes in city of Calgary that are available for sale. Okay, less than 1,500 even. So I'm just kind of rounding it up. Let's say it's 1,500. The last month's sale for these homes were 1,500. So meaning we have only inventory for 1 month. Okay, if we didn't get any new listings, city of Calgary would run out of homes, and there will be no more homes. Usually that inventory is good for 6 months. Typically we would have about 6,000 homes that are listed, and then we'll have 1,000 sale.
What is it now, Adeel?
So it's 1,500 homes that are listed, not including condos or anything else. I'm talking about single family homes to keep the stats very simple and straight.
Yeah.
There's about 1,500 homes in Calgary
now
that available for listing. Yes, that are listed right now, that is available for sale. Okay. And there's 1,500 alone that were sold in last 30 days.
Wow.
So
1,500 available, 1,500 gone.
Yeah, in a month's time. So that is pretty tight. That is a straight up seller's market. That means that is the shortage of home. Like, I can tell you that, because that's not enough homes. If we didn't get new homes added, we would be out of the homes. Like, we will have no listings. So usually that inventory it should be good for anywhere from 3 to 6 months, but our inventory is only good for 1 month. So leaving us very, very, very little homes on the market to purchase. Now, what does that do? Like, the people who can buy a house, they can't even buy it. Actually, if the people are having the ability to buy it, let's say they can afford the mortgage, they can qualify, they have jobs, they have good credit, they can't even find a decent home because there aren't many on the market. But so the people who can actually afford a home and all that stuff, they can't even get one. So think about people who can't even afford a home, like can't even get a mortgage, and they have to rely on rent. So what they would be going through. So the rental market is even worse. There is now people are lining up in front of apartment buildings and homes and basements to view, because there is one property and there's like 15 people want to get it.
Yeah,
so
serious bidding war, it sounds like.
Serious bidding war that are happening. And that's just because we have way more people than the livable homes that are available for people to live in.
For sure.
Hence, we have a shortage of homes.
What kind of solutions would you provide to attack this issue?
There's many reasons why we have this issue to begin with. But number one, and especially with the areas where they have this issue for a very, very long time, like City of Toronto is in huge trouble. I think their mayor every year they come out and they say they're going to build a certain amount of homes because they've been in a home shortage for a very, very long time, and they can't build it. And I've dealt with in Toronto myself in construction, and Vancouver is kind of same. So I'm talking about Canada. These are more of places that are more busy. There's a lot of people living there. And the one issue actually I find in general that I actually, because I've worked all across the country in different provinces, so I've kind of seen how different cities and provinces react when it comes to construction. One thing I've personally noticed, they have a lot of red tape. So even you want to get something small done, even you wanted to add a backyard, a deck in your backyard, or something even a little close to that, and maybe addition to your home, there is a lot of red tape that you have to go through. Forget about building a home from brand new from the scratch. There's a lot of red tape. And even the province we're in, Alberta, Calgary, there's still a lot of red tape here, even though we consider Alberta to be one of the, those provinces where we don't have that big of an issue. But it's still pretty bad. Like,
the building permit process, development permit process just takes a longer time.
100%. Like, I've been to some European countries, and they have a lot less area and a lot more complicated buildings than we do, and very little, fresh water, clean water to deal with. And they have so many wastage issues, how they're going to drain out, and, and they're, like they because the area scare their issues a lot more than we have. We got so much land, and they get their permits done a lot quicker, maybe one like a quarter of a time than we do.
And even the states as well, they're
Yeah.
very fast with their permitting.
Yeah, not all states is kind of like here. Yeah, some states are super good, they're really good, and some states are super slow, and there is a lot of red tape. So red tape is actually a big issue. And what is a red tape, for you those don't know? It's just the government paperwork. Honestly, it's nothing else. It's just
approval processes.
their approval process and their paperwork and application, and then this application and that application. Now, those things are needed. Inspection needs to be done by the city people, and then the plans needs to be reviewed, and then they have to put an approval. There is a design guidelines and other things, national building codes and policies and bylaws that need to be followed 100%. But there is still an issue because sometimes we don't need that for all those properties, or there are ways that can be figured out to take care of certain developments so you don't have those issues. So it is a big issue. Permit delays, inspection delays, cities not having enough staff is one of those issues too that I consider as a red tape. They just don't have enough people to take care of this stuff, which is not a good sign. If you know you're busy and we are a shortage of homes and we need more development done, then you would put more staff and more employees there. But sometimes that's not the case with a lot of cities. So yeah, the big issue is the red tape, is the the time it takes.
You know this, I was reading an article on the real estate exchange that the city of Burnaby is hiring a third-party consultant to approve their BPs now. So it's an outside firm. Hopefully it takes shorter for them. So yeah, that's really kind of cool.
Pircon actually done few projects in Burnaby, and I personally have walked myself into the city hall. At the city of Burnaby, they got a very nice, actually a cozy city hall. It's like it's an old building, but it's so nice and green, beautiful. It looks like a park. It's actually inside a park. It's very amazing. But yes,
I love Burnaby.
Yeah, their staff, honestly, they have only a few people working. When I visited, that was a long time ago. So I'm sure now everything is busy, and because what COVID did to real estate, I'm sure they would have more people working, but they just don't have enough infrastructure for the development that needs to happen. And think of Canada is actually a baby. It's a very new country, right? In a way, I mean, we got this massive land, but we don't have that many people living, so we got a lot of empty land, and we should have actually progressive policies to figure out the solution to have those land converted sooner, because in my past, I've worked with big developments companies, and I've worked for developers and contractors that do work for developers. And honestly, when they're looking at big subdivisions, the time it's so much. Like when I used to, these developers, they buy from the time they buy a piece of land until the whole community is kind of developed. We're looking into 30, 40 years. That's a lot of time. And that's what actually creates that. If we can make that process fast, we could get rid of that shortage that is, on us. So, yeah, that is I would say the red tape is one, if it's not the biggest, is one of the biggest issue. Then the other issue is well, these are the issues, right? The housing shortage, and why it's happening. How do you resolve it to reduce the red tape? That would be good. That would be good for all the new immigrants that are coming in, for all the students that are coming in, so there will be more housing available. Now, we just recently had City of Calgary actually just doing something. Kevin shared that article with me today.
The new housing strategy by Gondek. Yeah.
So by our mayor, which is a really good move, and it's needed. But I can tell you it will not fulfill. It still will not be enough, because it's just a drop in the ocean, because the need is so much drastic and so much deep than what they can do in a quick year or two. So there is a proper plan that needs to be resolved. And the easiest way just to say it, I mean, the city people can really get into it, and that they can use, online services and technology and other things, and even hire like consultants. And cities do that all the time. When they run out of people, they hire third-party consultants, like inspectors, to look at the actual job sites and project sites, and then the staff for the city to review your permits and permit drawings and all that stuff. So maybe we should do the same, because we're kind of having same issues. So one thing that government could do is just reduce the red tape, just reduce the regulations on getting these permits, and then the whole process of getting your approvals. And I think will make a huge impact in having more growth in our housing industry. The other solution that we were kind of discussing that is needed is actually, and how you can resolve it, is actually by encouraging builders and developers. So providing them special benefits, special advantage, maybe special lending and loans. And maybe this is where the city can start with reducing the red tape, where they don't have to have so much requirements for the professionals. So if a plan is being submitted from a builder, it can be maybe looked at a different department who acts a lot faster than a plan is coming from a homeowner. And actually, in most cases, my experience with City of Calgary has been where if a homeowner sends something in, it gets done faster, and there's less eyes looking at it. But if a builder or a contractor sends something in, it takes longer, and there's more questions, and there's more back and forth between the city and the designer. And I don't get that. I have personally have clients come to me and ask me things that are not in the books to get done. And we as a contractor say, no, sorry, we can't do it as the city's bylaw or the city's requirement to do it. And they'll give me like 10 different examples they've done it and they had no issues. So I don't get that part. And I think that's a big laziness and weakness on the city's part, where they would allow random people that do not have the background in construction would pass through a process very quickly, and then restrict the same process for maybe the companies that are professional. I'm not saying they do it purposely. I'm sure there is some sort of the work that's done behind, and they're looking at all the issues and all the problems and reviewing those plans in the same manner. But somehow it is a repetitive thing that I've seen. So this is maybe something city can do, where they could have the special portal or special planning taken care of for the professionals, so the things move faster. And then when it comes to homeowners, even though that process should be really fast, but it's a lot usually, and usually things that are done by homeowners are a lot simpler too. So they should have a fast process for them as well, but the professionals, and encourage builders and developers so they can build more without hassle, build easily, and they have more help, right, from their municipality or from their province to get something done. That's a very important one. And another one is technology. Now, there is a huge debate and talk about 3D home printers, and there's this company Boxable, another housing solution, which are good for small, simple, temporary use, but you cannot build communities just on that. You cannot build an entire city just using that stuff. So we need a lot of homes. We'll share stats with you, and like Canada and America, they're both in a trouble for homes. And finding a solution with technology is one of the needs. So whichever company, actually, there's a lot of companies are working on that, but whichever company kind of reaches there first will be the company would have growing faster as well, because it is actually a big issue that requires a pure solution.
There's so much technology to use these days, from the architectural to even the construction. Now they have robots walking around on site. They have all this stuff to help you carry drywall above your head, and it'll help you carry 5,000 pounds, and it'll lift your arms. It's powerful. So much cool things happening.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, how these robots are going to be super good and effective building homes, because building a house is like a very customized thing. It's not like you can build it on a conveyor belt, unless you're building those pre-manufactured
homes,
inside a warehouse space. And again, those are not like they have to be same size, and I'm sure a lot of things has to be set.
They have to
like
be transported on the road.
Yeah, like an auto industry, right? Like automobile, they have to be built by, and the robots for sure can build them, but it will be built exactly, certain house, and has to be same design, every single thing, and thousands of them, which is a good thing, which would help with the shortage of homes, and it'll create homes for certain areas that can it be applied. But we need even more than that, and I think down the road we would have it. It's too early to say that we'll have robots building your entire home, kind of like pour in place. That won't happen. You need that human engagement. But there are many things that we can use technology to reduce our time and many other things, right? For example, you can use technology in your construction time. So like project management, materials, procurement. You could literally have robots order materials for you, check materials on site. So, and then reduce the risk and error, like human error.
Now that's a very advanced level.
Yeah.
Having robots, iRobot walking around with Will Smith.
Yeah.
However, if you go to the second step lower, which our company has, we have advanced apps for different levels of our operations to help run the business faster and smoother across all levels of the organization.
Right.
So that's what makes working with Pircon a great advantage, is that we are already using technology to build our projects.
AI is a big part of it, which we're also on. But
all these other GCs, some of them are still using paper, and things are still getting lost, but we're advancing to the next level with technology.
Yeah. We actually heavily believe at Pircon. We heavily believe in technology. We have our own in-house app that we use for our estimating and project management and materials and project closing and all that stuff. So it helps our team to be on the same page and have the same information among us, and it also helps us move faster. For what we need to get done, and everybody knows what they're doing. And there's like thousands of applications, for construction companies, but we have our own that fits our need, and that fulfills exactly what we're looking for. So it was very key thing for us, a very big investment for Pircon to make, and but we're really glad that we actually took that.
It's
route.
Pretty smooth. I use it every day.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's very easy to use. So
this is what
use technology.
Construction companies should be doing. They should be using more and more technology, starting with simple stuff like simple softwares and help of the programs, and then extending that into robotic and having AI helping you on the back end. So that would reduce errors. That would reduce a lot of time, a lot of wasted time. And then could also help you on materials and saving, work hours for laborers and sub-trades and things like that.
For sure.
So that's one way of doing it. Another way is actually having robots doing the actual work. I think we're kind of far away from that, not too far away on certain things. I've seen different models, even like painter robot, which is very possible in a house.
Yeah. They have cleaner robots as well.
Again, certain type
Nannies.
of jobs, not for every single job. Like if you have a renovation and there was a sofa there and you needed to paint behind the sofa, I'm sure a robot is not going to do that. You're going to need a human actually doing that. So there is a lot of things that we can implement robots into many other things of our life, like having, like Kevin said, cleaning robot, or robots actually manufacturing cars. But housing is that one industry where there's so many things, and the way we use our home and the way we live, we need that customization. There's so
the human hand is more powerful.
It's that, and human involvement in that hand is needed for sure. Until we really finesse this robot industry, and then we got robots that are really, capable of actually just walking and have the, mobility like human. And, so I don't know how far away from where that looks like, things are moving pretty fast. But for construction, I still see there is some time. But I would suggest that using technology and using, the AI to the advantage to make this process faster, right? So those are the ways that we could get not rid of, but we could get reduction in a housing shortage. So we don't have, we don't have too less of homes for too many people, if you have any suggestions, and if you have anything that you would like to discuss, and maybe you would like to fill us in on it, so do let us know. What are your insights about this topic, and what do you feel? But this is what we conducted, that we need to move forward in a direction. Basically, all the qualified builders and developers need to be incentivized by the government and need to be helped with technology so they can help in reducing the home shortage.
For sure. And it's so beautiful to see all the different developers working at it as well. Just for example, there is a man named Maxim. We're looking on getting him on our podcast soon, and he's all about office conversions. So they're changing all these offices downtown to residential. I went to his place. They're changing everything. They have balconies where they used to have offices. They are putting in, 3-bedroom units where they used to have a cubicle. And it's amazing to see all this, and how the city is all working together with them, such as they're paying for people's demolitions. They're paying for certain type of materials. They're even giving a lot of tax advantages as well. So there's so much great things happening to build more homes for Canadians, for Calgarians, for people, Edmontonians, Torontonians, people to have more homes. And it's more beautiful to see. We all need a place to stay. And that's what I love working with Pircon with, is that, we're building communities and we're building homes. And this is where families can get together and grow and expand and develop their mind and develop their families. So that's what I love about this. I hope this podcast actually can help a builder, or even if you're just someone who really cares about the city, housing, this podcast is good. And please give this a share to someone who could truly benefit.
Yes, 100%. I think on that, we will end our podcast for today. And we'll be back next week with another exciting topic to discuss about construction, real estate, or entrepreneurship. Thank you, everyone. Hit the like button, subscribe our channel, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
All right, later, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.